I declared in my previous video that I am a romance reader through and through, and I have read so many great romance books in 2025 that I cannot wait to read even more romance book in 2026. I also didn't realize that there are so many romance book series out there. I thought the book series are for romantasy or fantasy books, but no, romance book series are out there and there are definitely a lot of them. So in today's video, I thought I would share with you the 10 romance book series that I want to personally start reading next year. This 10 is only part of the romance book series that I physically own. So I have more than this 10 book series that I'm going to be talking about in this video. Maybe I will make a part 2. Let me know in the comment below if you want to know more about the other romance book series that I already own that I might start also in 2026. But I guess these are the 10 books that I am super excited to start because I have heard so many people read this book series and these book series are pretty popular. So let me know in the comment below if you have read any of this book series. Also, let me know which book series I should prioritize first because I would like to start this series early on in 2026 so I can continue reading the other books in the series throughout 2026. Anyways, let's just go ahead and start with the first book because I have the book stack right here behind me. So the first one that I have, it's called Pride, Prejudice, and Other Flavors by Sonali Dev. This is part of a 4-book series, I believe, and I think it's called The Rajas. It's about the Rajas siblings. This first book is about Trisha. She is San Francisco's most acclaimed neurosurgeon, but that is not enough for her immigrant family. And the reason why I wanted to start this series is because last month, I believe, I went to the Las Vegas Book Festival and I was sitting for a panel about romance book authors who write books inspired by the classic romance literature like Jane Austen, Charlotte Bronte, and I think there are some other ones that I'm not super familiar with. And there was Nikki Payne, Priscilla Oliveras, and J.C. Lee, which I think were such a great lineup. And they were talking about the books that they have written in the past and also present, obviously, because they are still writing books that are inspired by all of these classic romance novels. And that is just kind of inspired me to actually pick up some of the books that I know is inspired by the classics. And because I already have this book series, I decided to start with this one. But I definitely want to check out Nikki Payne's, Priscilla Oliveras, and also J.C. Lee's books that are inspired by the classic because all of them sound super interesting when they talk about it on the panel. But because I already have all of the books in this series, I'm gonna start with this one, and who knows, maybe in my part 2 or part 3 romance book series video I will pick up the other books that are inspired by the classic romance books. So the second book in the stack is The Deal by Elle Kennedy. This is part of the off-campus series, I believe, because she has maybe 2 or 3 other romance book series. The reason why I wanted to start reading this book series is because, one, it is super popular. I'm pretty sure this was released probably a few years ago, but people still talk about them constantly and they still highly recommend this book, highly rating this book. So I decided to pick it up. This one was, I think, originally was published in 2015, and I think it got picked up by Source Books in 2021, I believe. And also there's gonna be a TV show adaptation of this whole book series, so I just wanted to at least start with the first one in 2026. This one is about Hannah and Garrett. I think she's about to make a deal with the college bad boy and it's gonna be oh so good. That is what it says on the back of the book. I kind of want to go into this blind. I know this is kind of like a sport romance book series, I believe. I'm not sure if all of them are hockey related, but I think they are. So let me know in the comment below what you think about this book series, if you have read them, and if I should put this into like my #1 priority to read next year. The next book that I have on my book stack is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. Again, I've heard so many great things about her books, especially this series. I think it's called Out, or maybe it's something else, I'm not sure, but the second book is called Out of the Woods, and I already have that book as well. To be honest with you, I actually wanted to read Out of the Woods first because I just think the premise is interesting, and the main character's name is also Sarah, I believe, which is my name. So many people are saying that you should definitely read Out on a Limb first before reading Out of the Woods. So I decided to pick this up. Anyways, this is about Win, who has a one-night stand and an unexpected pregnancy. And a lot of people usually don't like that trope, and I don't think I've actually ever read a book with the accidental pregnancy trope. So I decided to give this a try because, again, I've heard so many great things about this book despite of the accidental pregnancy trope. So I think I'm gonna give it a try. Again, let me know if you guys read this book series already. I think there's only 2 books in the series. I'm not sure if Hannah Bonam-Yang is going to write more in this series, but I know she has other series. The next book in the book stack is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. This is the Dreamland Billionaire series, and I think there are 3 books total. I already have the first 2 books because I found them at Book Off when I went to California, I think in August. I found this for like $5, and of course I wanted to get it because, again, people have talked about this series a lot, and I've never really read any billionaire romance book ever, so I thought I would start with this one. So this book is about Rowan and Zara. I think Rowan is one of the 3 brothers in this book series, and I think he inherited a theme park or something like that, and Zara is one of his staff or something, and I don't know how they're gonna get entangled with all of this drama and romance, so I cannot wait to read them. Let me know if you guys have read this book or book series before, because again, some people have talked about this book, and honestly, I just don't want to get left out. I want to kind of jump into the conversation whenever they talk about this book series. And also, if you have any kind of like other billionaire romance series that you love, let me know in the comment below. I think there is one by Anna Huang. I also do have the first book in that series, but I will talk a little bit about Anna Huang's book later on in this video. The next book that I have in my book stack is To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. This is a 3-book series, and I already have all of the 3 books in my personal library. I actually already watched the movie adaptation, but only the first one. So before I watched the second and the third movie, as well as the spin-off XO Kitty, I wanted to read at least the first book first before I watch the other movies. I have actually read Jenny Han's other book series that are super popular as well, the Summer I Turned Pretty series, and I finished them. I think the last book I finished them in the summer. I am trying to catch up on the TV show. But anyways, this is about Laura Jean, I believe, and she wrote, I think, 5 letters to the boys that she likes when she was growing up. She addressed them in an envelope, but she kind of hide it in her closet inside like this big box. However, her youngest sister, Kitty, for some reason decided to send all of the letters out, and then I guess the boys one by one kind of like came up to her, to Laura, and asked like, what is this letter about and all of that. And there's also some fake dating trope if the movie and the books are kind of similar that way, so I cannot wait to hopefully read this next year. Alright, the next book in the book stack is Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. This is part of the Rebel Blue Ranch series, and there are 4 books, and again, I have all 4 books already just because so many people talk about this book series and they love it. And I think there's one YouTuber that I follow, she said that she actually read the whole series, I think within the span of 1 week or 2 weeks or something. She basically reads them back to back, and that is how she loved it so much. So ever since I watched that video and she said that, I was basically convinced to get all 4 books before even reading the first one. I know some people are not really a fan of this book as well, but I'm gonna read it for myself to see if I like them or not. Hopefully I do, because like I said, I already have 4 books in the series. This one is about Clementine, or Emmy, and Luke. Emmy used to live in Meadowlark, Wyoming, and then she went to college and then make a career out of herself, and then I think she went back to this small town. And then Luke is the notorious bad boy, bar owner, and bachelor of Meadowlark. They're gonna get tangled in this book, and I cannot wait to read it. Let me know if you guys have read the Rebel Blue Ranch series, and Let me know which one of the 4 books that is your favorite. We're kind of staying, I think, in the small town cowboy romance with the next book, which is Flawless by Elsie Silver. I know that this book series is older. I think it was probably published in, let me see if I can find it real quick, 2022? Yeah, 2022, originally self-published. And I know that's not too long ago, but again, I've heard so many people talk about this book. And I know Elsa Silver has another small town series called... So this one is the Chestnut Spring series. And then she has Gold Rush Ranch and Rose Hill. When I was trying to decide which series of Elsa Silver's I should start, I just feel like Flawless has a more, I don't know, recommendations, or I've heard a little bit more about Flawless than Wild Love. So I decided to pick this one up first. But if you think I should pick up Wild Love first before Flawless, let me know in the comment below, because I do have that book already as well in my personal library. And like I said, I just decided to pick this up because it was kind of more popular and I've heard a little bit more about Flawless than Wild Love. This one is about Rhett, who is a professional bull riding. He basically, I think, did something bad for his like social image. So his manager or his agent was saying that you need an assistant to keep you in check, and that is when Summer comes into the picture, and Summer is his agent's daughter. I think it's gonna be a little bit interesting to see how they kind of get attracted to each other. I'm curious about how this story would unfold throughout the book. I think she's kind of like off limit for him because Summer is his agent's daughter, and I cannot wait to read it. The next book is Mile High, and it is the first book in the Windy City series by Liz Tomforty. This is about Sanders and Stevie. I'm pretty sure Sanders is a professional hockey player and Stevie is the flight attendant for the team, I believe. And I don't know how they're gonna get entangled in this romance. I have heard so many great things about this book series. People might not like this first book as much as the other books, but I've heard that you definitely want to start with the first book first, even though it might not be your favorite, because some of the characters in the other books, like the 2nd to the 5th books, are all in this as well. So if you want to learn a little bit more about them and not feel like there's some information that are left out, definitely start with the first book. So that is what I decided to do, because I did bought Rewind It Back first, which is the last book in the series, and I posted it on Thread asking if I should read that first. But yeah, a couple people are saying read the first book first and then work your way through Rewind It Back. People are super sad that the series ended. I think people just love this book series so much, love the characters so much. So I decided that I do need to pick this up. I also decided to get the special edition one because I think the original cover, they're not gonna produce it anymore, so it's gonna be moving over to this one. And to be honest with you, I love sprayed edges on paperback. I know some people don't love it. The next one that I have on the book stack is probably one of the older book series, I believe. Let me see, when was this published? 2022. It's not even that long, but I feel like it's such a beloved book series that I feel like it was written like a long time ago. But anyways, this is The Addicted to You, and it is the first book in the Addicted / Calloway Sister series by Krista and Becca Ritchie, or KBR. They're twin sisters who wrote this whole book together, or this whole book universe together. This one is technically, I think, 2 sub-series combined together. So this one, Addicted to You, is part of the Addicted series. I also already have the second book, which is Ricochet, in the Addicted series. Let me see, this one actually kind of broke it down a little bit better. Basically, there are at least, I think there should be like 10 in the Addicted universe, but on this book there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but there's only 9 kind of like broken down here. But basically there is Addicted series and the spin-off Calloway Sisters series, but you kind of want to read them together in this order, I believe. So I have to read Addicted to You, which is this one. I have Ricochet, which is this one, and then Addicted for Now, which is technically the third book in the Addicted series. And then after that, you might want to go into the spin-off series Kiss the Sky, and then Hot House Flower, and then you go back to Thrive, and then Addicted After All, and then go back to the Calloway Sister series. So it is just all very confusing to me, and I'm not really sure if I'm going to read all of the books in the series or in this universe. So I'm gonna start with this two first to see how I would like it. I also actually read an arc of Burn Bright, which is another spin-off series off of this whole universe. And when I was reading that book, I just felt like I'm missing some information of the characters in the book, the main character as well as some of the side characters in that book. And I feel like if I would have read this whole universe, I would enjoy that book more. So that's why I decided to hopefully start the Addicted Calloway Sister series and then branch off to the other book series in the same universe, because these two book series are only a part of the bigger universe. I hope that makes sense, and I'm pretty sure all of you who read KBR books, you probably can explain it better than what I'm doing right now. Last but not least, in the book stack, I have Twisted Love by Anna Huang. This is the first book in the Twisted series. I believe there are 4 books total, which is not too bad. And because I've never really read anything by Anna Huang before, even though I already have 2 of her other first book in her book series in my personal library, I decided to start with this one again because people are talking highly about this book series. I think it's about 4 girls in a college, and the 4 books is obviously about the 4 girls. I'm not really sure if they are in the same group of friends. Maybe they are. If you know, let me know in the comments. But anyways, this is about Alex and Ava. Anyways, he is a devil blessed with the face of an angel and cursed with a past he cannot escape. Ava is a free spirit trapped by nightmares of a childhood she cannot remember. Oh, Alex is her brother's best friend, her neighbor, her savior, and her downfall. What is going on? Anyways, I cannot wait to read this. I think it might be a little bit sad or emotional. Let me know if that is the case for this book, because it sounds like they both have pretty traumatic pasts. Anyways, those are all of the 10 book series, 10 romance book series that I am planning to read in the beginning or starting in the beginning of 2026, and obviously I'm gonna read throughout the whole year next year. I don't know if you can see down here, I have more first book in the romance book series that I want to start reading because they are so popular and so beloved. But let me know if you want to know the other books, because maybe I'll make a part 2.